Oh, yes, yes, yes. There's that Georgia offense we were missing last week. Whee! Everything is right in the world again. Everything is back to normal now. 80 yards passing in the first half from my boy JT Daniels. Christ! One touchdown and one interception. Some people are going to say the interception wasn't his fault. It hit Kearis Jackson in the hands. He got hit, popped up in the air. Defender made a great play. That's true. You got to put a little bit more on that ball, though. Kearis was open. The ball floated a little bit, which is what really enabled that defender to get there and make that hit. So, not that interception. I guess, I mean, I won't put it totally on JT. I mean, it did hit the receiver in the hands. You got to make the catch, whether you get hit or not, I guess. But you got to put a little bit more on that ball. Overthrew a wide open receiver that would have been a touchdown earlier in the game. The pointless sack was irritating too, because I saw that for 3 years with Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm just refused to throw the ball away ever. You can count on one hand the number of times Jake Fromm threw the ball away in the 3 years he wasted at UGA. But so JT's got to get better about that. And that is that play right there where JT sort of backpedaled and got sacked for a 15-yard loss or whatever it was. That's how he ended up with negative 140 yards rushing at Southern Cal in 2018 when he was a starter out there. But I mean, South Carolina can't stop the run game. 28-10 at halftime. Georgia's going to blow them out like I told you they would. Told you on the Hype and Hate video he's not throwing for 400 yards today. What did I say? 250. You may still get that. There was some plays left out on the field, and there was a couple of drives there. Georgia does this sometimes where they just decide, okay, we're just going to run the ball this possession, and they come out and they run the ball, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. 2 of the drives there in the first half, you could tell that's what Georgia decided to do, and they scored on both of them. So not knocking it, but you know, it was easy for us to get carried away last week with the 400 yards thing, because it's just been forever since we had any type of playmaking QB, and JT is that guy. JT can make a play. He's not afraid to put the ball up in the air. He hit the tight ends a couple of times early in this game for some big big plays. So I'm not mad at JT. I don't think he's playing bad. What is he? 7 of 10, 8 of 10, something like that. I mean, he's having a good game. But this is the Georgia offense. The only reason he had 400 yards last week is because we couldn't run the ball. I mean, Kirby does not want to. Kirby still hasn't totally learned. He still hasn't completely learned his lesson. The only reason we had 400 last week, Jesus Christ, you hear that? Damn light's about to blow up. Let me get the hell out of here. Almost everything in Huntington, West Virginia is about to blow up, I think. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So that's the only reason JT had the 400, because we couldn't run the ball. Well, thank God we had JT that could throw. We would have lost to Mississippi State. But today we can run the ball, and that's still what Kirby wants to do. He's still going to run the ball a pointless number of times. And listen, I guess that's okay, if you have a guy like JT that can throw when you need him to. That was the difference last week in the 3 years prior with Fromm, really more than anything else. If you go back and look at Fromm's 3 years at Georgia, the few times teams did shut down Georgia's running game, we had no chance to win the game. Fromm was not going to win you a game with his arm. JT proved in his first start that he could do that. But that's not what Kirby wants to do. So, people say he's going to have 400 yards again. Now, I told you on the video this morning he'd have 250. He can still get close to 250. Like I said, we'll see what happens in the second half. 28-10. I tell you what I want to know. Look at this car right here. Looks like the damn Batmobile, don't it? But it's a nice looking vet there. I've always been a Mustang guy. I'm not going to lie. Those black vets, the newer ones, what is that? Probably a 2017 or something. I don't know that much about vets. It looks like it's not the newest style that's out. What is it, the C8, I guess? So that looks like a C7. I don't know. I might be getting that wrong. I'm not a Corvette guy. Anyway, I tell you what I want to see in this game in the second half, though. 28-10 now. If this game is a clear blowout in the fourth quarter, which it could be, South Carolina's desperate as hell, ain't they? God bless Mike Bobo'd, man. This guy's out here going for it on fourth down on his own 30-yard line and shit in the second quarter. This guy's a maniac. That's the good thing about being an interim head coach. When you have no chance to become the actual head coach, he's not concerned about trying to impress the South Carolina administration. He's not trying to get a job. He knows he's not getting a job. so he can go out there and do dumb shit like go for it on 4th down every time. Sometimes he gets it, sometimes he doesn't. He had the penalty there at the end. They were going to go for it again on 4th and 1, but they had the false start, backed them up, then they attempted a field goal and missed it right before we threw that interception. But here's what I want to see. If this is a blowout in the 4th quarter, and they take JT Daniels-Christ out, here's what I want to see. Who do they put in? Well, it won't be D'Wan Mathis. No, if you haven't heard the news, like D'Wan Mathis, I mean, I think everybody knew this a few weeks ago. I wasn't sure whether it was going to happen during the season or at the end of the season, but he's gone. He's not with the team anymore. He'll be transferring out. I don't blame him. Good luck to him. A string of bad luck for D'Wan at UJ. I hope he can find somewhere and get it turned around. I wish nothing but the best for him. If they take JT Daniels-Christ out, who do they put in and what do they do? I want to know, has Kirby Smart learned any lessons at all? If we're up in the 4th quarter of this game and we trot Stetson friggin' Bennett into the game in the 4th quarter and have him hand off a million times, same old dumbass Kirby Smart. What should happen if we're up in the 4th quarter of this game and you take JT Daniels-Christ out, you should put Carson Beck in and let him run the actual offense. Mind blown. Oh my God. Hey, what if JT Daniels gets hurt? Shouldn't we find out what we have with JT Beck? That's the true test for Kirby. Let's see what he does in the 4th quarter if UJ can get up to the point where you take JT Daniels-Christ out. Do they put Bennett in and let him hand off a million times, which will tell me Kirby is still suffering from special needs disease when it comes to the offense and developing QBs? Or does he put the freshman in and let him get his first game time experience in an actual SEC game against decent competition? I mean, South Carolina's not a good team, but I mean, it's an SEC team. And let him get his feet wet. Let him see what you got. God forbid something happens and you might actually have to play him when it matters. Kirby's never done this before. That is a bad looking car right there. I'm not gonna lie. Uncle Lou needs that. Comment down below if I should trade the Mustang in on a Corvette. I'll see you after the game though.